college has really changed me as a person. I'm gonna be doing content full-time. 2.5 months I'm gonna be in Korea, which I always get a little bit scared to tell people. Why am I nervous? Welcome to the annual life update slash Q&A. I'm calling it annual because I realized that I don't do chatty videos very often. So I always end up doing one around this time of the year. I asked you guys on Instagram to send me some questions, and so I'm gonna be going through these and picking the ones that were most frequently asked. Oh, how are you doing lately? Thank you for asking. I always get like these how are you questions, which I think are really sweet because I think it actually causes me to reflect on like how I'm actually feeling that day. And today I'm feeling good. I haven't been getting that much sleep lately because I've just been having so much work, but I got a solid 8 hours last night, which was good, but it was still so hard to get out of bed this morning. I slept through my alarm twice, which almost never happens. What did you study in college? I say this in pretty much every single video, but my major is communication and nutrition, aka food systems, nutrition and health. That's like the full name of the major. And I'll be hopefully getting my degree in a couple of weeks. Now for the question that was most asked. What is your plan after graduation? Post-grad plans? Do you plan on going to Korea anytime soon? Lots of post-grad questions. Are you nervous about graduating as well? First of all, yes. Like I said in my last video, it still hasn't hit me yet. The fact that I'm going to be done with school for the time being. I get this question a lot in my real life as well. Like anytime I meet up with someone, especially if it's someone that I'm like catching up with, they always ask, what are your plans after college? I feel like I've developed like a cookie cutter answer that I tell people so I don't have to think about it too much. So what do you plan on doing post-grad? Oh, I thought you would never ask. So I'm planning to take kind of a year off to travel for a bit. I'm gonna be home after I graduate from June to July, but I'm starting to travel in August. Starting from August to about mid-November, I'm gonna be in Asia. Starting off the first part of my trip in Thailand and maybe Vietnam, and then I'm going to be in Korea from mid-August to the end of October. 2.5 months I'm gonna be in Korea, and then I'm planning to do a solo trip to Japan for a couple of weeks before I head back home for the holidays. And then the goal, which I always get a little bit scared to tell people, is that I really want to do Europe in the spring and summer, whether that's like a short-term stay in a country or backpacking or interrailing around the continent. That has always been one of like my biggest dreams, to be able to travel. The fact that I am able to actually do that straight out of college is kind of insane. Of course, I'll be bringing you guys along with me for the journey, but yeah, it's gonna be really exciting. Content is definitely gonna shift a bit within the next year, but this is the first time where I will be pursuing content creation full-time in a sense. It's funny because I used to get questions about whether I would consider doing content or YouTube full-time, and my answer was always no. School has always been like my #1 priority, and I couldn't imagine myself not having anything else going in my life besides making content. Like what would I make content about if I'm not doing anything, you know? But I had a shift in my mindset when I went to New York last summer. As you guys may know, I went to New York for about 2 months for my internship. And while I was in New York, I did a lot of networking, and I met so many other content creators, and I made so many other friends who were like a few years older than me that were doing like non-traditional jobs and working in creative fields. For the first time in my life, I thought about what it would be like doing content full-time. Obviously, I'm gonna be traveling at the same time, but this opportunity is not something that comes by around very often. I'm gonna be honest, like, it's a scary thing to admit that I'm gonna be doing content full-time. A lot of my friends are applying for jobs right now. They're planning on going to grad school and dental school, and I'm over here being like, I'm gonna travel and post on Instagram and YouTube, and that's gonna be my job. I'm not a huge spender, and I have saved up a lot of money over the past few years through like my sponsorships and brand deals, which are all thanks to you guys, and so I literally would not be able to do this if it weren't for your support. Thank you so much for watching me grow up and figure out my life with you guys. It is a privilege that I do not take for granted, and yeah, I'm really grateful. TLDR, I'm going to be traveling and doing YouTube and social media for the next year or so. After that, we shall see. Honestly, I'm not really the type of person who likes to plan things out super far in advance because my goals and motivations would always change by the time that time came around. I think just being in my 20s, I'm super open to trying new things, working different jobs, taking risks. And I also have a really good support system of like friends and family that I can always lean on when I'm like going through hard things. I also got some questions if I'm planning to move specifically to New York after I graduate. And the answer is no. For now, I would honestly love to live in New York in the future, especially in like my mid-20s, because I absolutely fell in love with New York when I lived there over the summer. I think I would want to live somewhere a bit quieter like Brooklyn or Queens, because when I was in New York this summer, I was smack dab in the middle of Midtown, and although it was really fun, it was also a little bit too chaotic for my liking. Moving to New York would be a dream come true. Now, I feel like some people might be thinking, why did you decide to go to college if you're going to pursue content full-time? And the reason is because I really value education. I think college has really changed me as a person, not in just like my personality, but also the way that I view the world. College has been a way for me to learn how to think critically, and also to not only learn more about the world, but also how I can make the world a better place. I can definitely see myself working in the public health field, the nonprofit sector, or even like marketing and communications, because I realized that I really enjoy like the creative side of marketing, and so I think it'd be really cool to be able to do that for like a different brand. Like a degree and the knowledge I gained from completing that degree is something that I can carry with me throughout the rest of my life. And I'm not gonna be doing YouTube full-time forever, so I'm putting it in my back pocket for now, but I know it's definitely gonna come to use in the future. I rambled for like 20 minutes. I don't even know what I said, but also on the topic of moving and traveling in general, although I was born in New Jersey, I grew up in Washington and have been living here for like the past 18 years, and so I would love to move to a different place, maybe even a different country, and just like experience life outside of Seattle. Honestly, when I was growing up, I always thought I would want to move to California because I hate the rain and just my seasonal depression gets so bad in the wintertime. But I think being in college and being able to explore more of what Seattle is actually like besides the suburbs, which is where I grew up, I've come to really love Seattle. I love the people here. The food culture here is amazing. Also, a lot of my community is here, and so I can definitely see myself coming back in the future. But for now, I just want to be free as a bird and explore the world. Oh my god, wait. I love this question. You're entering a new stage in your life, which obviously comes with a change in your Notion. Tour? I swear I did not write this question, guys. I would love to show you guys my new Notion template for my post-grad life, because if you know me, I've created one. I also got a lot of questions relating to like how I balance my life, how I manage my time in college, how I plan to organize my life after college, and so this is the perfect time to show you guys my new post-grad template. I feel like this template, it's a little simpler, a little bit more sophisticated. I quickly want to thank Notion for sponsoring this video. I was actually planning on sharing this template before they reached out because I got some questions on it when I showed a snippet of it in one of my past videos. So this is kind of like perfect timing. And unlike my last template, which was Studio Ghibli themed, this one is a little bit more inspired by Japanese contemporary artists like Yoshitomo Nara. So let me give y'all a tour of my Notion. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I kind of popped off on this template. We're gonna start off with our life OS. As you can see, we have a little character from Yoshitomo Nara. A little reminder, I am the creator of my own reality. If you scroll down, you'll see that I have like this main dashboard, which I'll go in depth in a second. On the right of that, we have my habit tracker, and these are just some things that I want to try and make sure that I'm doing every day, which doesn't always happen, but it just kind of allows me to keep track. Moving my body once a day, taking my vitamins, drinking enough water, etc. I also have a bunch of cute little images that are pulled from Pinterest. I like to have a lot of brain dump areas, so underneath the habit tracker I have like little sections for life, college, and socials, and a little virtual sticky note, which you will quickly see that I have scattered all throughout my Notion. On the left I have my index, and this is very simple. I just have like a notes page and my finance page. Underneath that I have a little place where I can put this week's goals and 3 things that I'm looking forward to. I usually write my weekly goals and things I'm looking forward to in my Hobonichi, which is my physical planner. But I love having this, so I put this in for you guys. I use my Hobonichi more for like daily planning, but my Notion is used more for like my life organization. So if we go back to the dashboard, you'll see that I have 4 categories: YouTube, health, personal projects, and career hub. So this is a little bit different from my last Notion template. Now I'm gonna start off by showing you guys my career hub because this video is like a post-grad video. Also, of course, this template is available to you guys for free, which I will have linked down below. I'm definitely gonna start utilizing this more, especially after like my travel era and I'm looking for a job. A little reminder of my goals, which is to explore the world, be open-minded to new opportunities, and to take risks. This is almost the exact same as like my old career hub page. I just updated the design layout and I added the short-term and long-term goals. One thing I want to highlight about this page specifically is the intern application. It's a very simple layout, but it has a place for me to write what the internship is, the location, the status of the application, the result, as well as when I submitted the application, and a little place where I can write any notes about the application itself. This was super helpful for me when I was looking for and applying to different internships. Actually, I should change this to job applications because we're looking for jobs now. But simple and effective is what I was trying to go for this time around. I kind of simplified my studio template into something that was a little bit more streamlined for my workflow. It's all just kind of laid out very simply, which I realized was more helpful to me than like pages within pages. But the thing I want to highlight about this page is the current sponsors template. So I created this little button where if you press it, it'll automatically create a sponsor plan template so that if I click it, it automatically has like this little outline that is very nicely set up so that if I'm working on a sponsored project, I can put all the key deadlines, notes. So I use this template pretty much anytime I have like a sponsor. I also have a place to write my key deadlines, upcoming videos, videos to make in the future. And under resources, I have things that I haven't utilized too much because I'm still in the process of developing this template for myself. Something that I do want to add is like a media kit, place where I can just compile all of my analytics for brands and overall project database. I also have my health tab, which I have clearly not developed yet, but let me just put in like health goals right now. Cook more often, find a consistent workout that I like. This summer I really want to get into like working out, but yeah, the health tab, still in progress. And for the page that I am most excited for, my personal projects hub, I think this page came out so cute. It's also very simple, but I just love how the color scheme came together. Another little quote at the top, creativity takes courage. I have a little travel era countdown, which was made through Indify. It's actually really easy to do it, so I'll show you guys right now. If you just go on indify.co, there's a bunch of different widgets that you can choose from, but if we do a countdown one, let me make a graduation one. I can make it big or small, I can change the color, and then once you have your widget, you just copy, /embed, copy paste a link, then boom, you have your widget. This is a little bit too big for my liking. The two things I want to highlight about this page specifically is my hobby hub and my travel hub. This past year, one of my goals was to start a Substack, which I've been very bad at updating. If you didn't know, Substack is basically a newsletter platform where you can write newsletters, kind of like a blog. I love writing, and so I wanted to improve on my writing skills by creating like a monthly newsletter. This is definitely also something that I want to focus on post-grad while I'm traveling. So if you want to check out my Substack, it will be linked in the description box as well. Again, very simple. I like to write my Substack posts in here because I just think Notion has a very beautiful, simple interface. So for my first newsletter, I literally just wrote it in here. I also have a page for my ceramics where I plan on putting like my inspiration and stuff. I get a lot of inspiration for my ceramics from Pinterest, so I just have that compiled here. And then the second thing that I want to highlight from this page was my travel planning template. Guys, I'm actually so excited about this. I spent a lot of time making this because I'm planning to travel a lot this year. I have two little buttons. So if you click one, it creates a little page. I have a template for solo travel and also group travel. And I actually used this group travel template when I was planning my trip to Hawaii with my roommates from last year. These templates are almost exactly the same, but it has a place where you can write the dates, flight info, housing info, a finance tracker, which was the most helpful thing for my trip specifically, as well as another button, which if you press, creates a daily spendings template. Basically what my roommates and I did is at the end of each day of our travel, we would sit down and write down every single little thing that we spent money on that day. It definitely takes time and effort to track all these little expenses, especially while you're traveling, but having this data is so helpful, especially for planning and budgeting for future trips. And so I highly recommend utilizing this if you are a type A person like me. The great thing about Notion is that you can actually share these pages, and so what I did is that I sent out a page for our Hawaii trip to my roommates, and so we all had the information compiled in one document, which is super helpful. And then the solo travel template is pretty much the exact same. Actually, I'm gonna show you guys exactly what my Hawaii trip planner looked like because I'm actually very proud of how well organized this trip was. We had a date, a link to our hotel, we used a finance tracker to keep track of our total expenses, had a place to write our itinerary. Looking back at this, we were very detailed in this itinerary. And then at the bottom, we just brain dumped all of like the potential activities, food spots that we wanted to go to. Very helpful for getting the trip out of the group chat. And so this is basically how I'm organizing my life post-grad, my passion projects, my travel plans, my post-grad plans, my career. It's all through Notion. If you can think it, you can make it happen with Notion. You can try it out for free and find my templates in the description down below. Again, thank you so much to Notion for sponsoring this video and making my post-grad dreams come to life. And let's get back into the Q&A. Okay, I'm back now. I took a break to get boba with a friend and we ended up talking for a really long time, and so it is almost dark now. But I kind of like the cozy vibes, little switch in the atmosphere after we talked about some more serious things. So I'm gonna light this candle. This is number 4 from Maison Louis Marie. I got this gifted to me by my friend Jackie back in February, but it's like such a nice candle that I've been kind of afraid to use it. It smells so good. Apparently this smells like Santal from Le Labo. Let me answer some more fun questions. Not that the other ones were not fun, but you know, gotta switch things up a bit. Favorite show as of recently? So if you've been following me on Instagram, you know that I am absolutely obsessed with Lovely Runner right now. It's currently ongoing and I think there's 12 episodes out right now, but this drama has literally taken over my life. I genuinely do not remember the last time I was this obsessed with a Korean drama. First of all, the chemistry between the actors Pyun Woo-seok and Kim Hye-un, so good. Like my entire For You page and Explore page is all just them. I'm kind of obsessed with the actor himself too. I have absolutely no business to be fangirling this hard over a man that is in his 30s, but the drama is so good. Like the writing, the directing, the chemistry between the actors themselves. The show also airs on Mondays and Tuesdays, and for the first time in my life, I actually look forward to Mondays. Crazy concept, guys. Like, I actually do not know what I'm gonna do with my life after the drama ends. I'm probably gonna rewatch it, actually, after the drama ends. Pyun Woo-seok, he has taken over my life, and I'm not mad about it. It's definitely in the rom-com genre, which is my personal favorite. Definitely in my top 5 dramas. Some of my favorites are Weightlifting Fairy, Reply 1988, School 2017, which all came out a while ago, so it's been a very long time since I have really been obsessed with the drama. If you haven't watched it yet, please watch it and then come back and let me know what you think of it, because it's actually life-changing. Like, especially if you like the types of dramas that I like, it's life-changing. Oh, this is an interesting question. As a fellow Kyopo, do you ever feel stuck between 2 cultures? If you don't know what Kyopo is, it's basically the Korean term for a Korean American, so someone that is Korean but was either born or grew up in the United States. Yes and no. So I grew up in the suburbs of Washington, specifically where there were a lot of other Asian American kids around me, and so I am really grateful to have grown up with the privilege of not feeling like I stuck out because I was Asian. Like, I would go to other schools and be surprised at how many white people there were. That's how Asian my schools were growing up. But I say yes because I would feel the difference the most when I was actually in Korea. I've only visited Korea a handful of times in my lifetime, but when I visited most recently, which was in fall of 2022, so almost 2 years ago, I felt like I stuck out so much. I feel like Korean Americans, they have a look that is distinctively Korean American. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. If you're a Korean American, you probably know what I'm talking about. I had also just come back from my study abroad trip to Italy, and I was in Italy for 5 weeks, and I got really tan while I was there. And so when I came to Korea that fall, I just remember feeling like I stuck out so much because of how tan I was. Honestly, I was not even that tan, but because of the beauty standard in Korea, like everyone there is hella pale, and that is like considered to be the beauty standard. And so when I would go into Olive Young to try and find like foundation shades or concealer shades, they were all too light for me as a light-skinned Asian, which is kind of crazy. Like, it didn't matter how Korean I tried to look, whether that was by buying Korean clothes or Korean makeup. As soon as I opened my mouth, like, people would be able to immediately tell that I was a foreigner. In that way, I think I felt like an outsider and not really fully Korean. And I think I used to be a lot more insecure about that in the past, especially because I felt like I didn't fit the Korean beauty standard. Part of me is a little bit afraid that when I do go to Korea this summer, I'm going to feel that sense of difference and not really feeling fully Korean. But even within like the last 2 years, I think I've gotten a lot more confident in my own self-expression, that I'm not as afraid of sticking out and looking different. And more specifically, over the past year, I think I spent a lot more time and energy trying to figure out what fits my personal style and what I like. And so I'm hoping that this time around when I go to Korea, I'm not gonna feel as pressured to like fit in. No matter how hard I try, I know I'm gonna stick out anyway, so might as well just do what I want, you know? Do you have any book recommendations? Honestly, I have been slacking on my reading game lately, but the most recent book that I finished was Heaven by Mieko Kamakawi, who also wrote the popular book Breast and Eggs, which I haven't read yet, but I do want to read in the future. I honestly really enjoyed this book, but it is very sad. It's about 2 middle school students that experience bullying and kind of find comfort within each other's presence. But I really like this author's writing style. I think it is simple but very emotional at the same time. It's a pretty short book, so if you are in the mood to read a sad book, I would recommend this. Currently, I'm reading Kafka on the Shore by Haruki Murakami. I just started this book, but I am honestly so confused. Like, I kind of have no idea what's going on. Hopefully, it will make sense as I continue to read it, but I'm kind of having a hard time following. Someone asked, what is something you wish you did differently in college? Honestly, I think I would have done a gap year after I graduated high school. My candle just started making noise. But like I was saying, I kind of regret not taking a gap year after I graduated high school, partially because I started college during the pandemic, at home, online, and that's part of the reason why my time in college has felt so short. It feels like I should have another year left, but I'm already graduating. I talk about this a lot with my friends as well, and a lot of us agree that we think we should have taken gap years after graduating high school because there's honestly no rush. Now, what would I have done during my gap year? Probably not much. Like, I didn't really get to have the experience of being a freshman in college, which I think is really exciting. Once you're a sophomore, everyone just kind of forgets about you, and so I wish I had the experience of like getting babied by the upperclassmen and just like experiencing the newness of college with all the other freshmen. But besides that, I don't think I would have done anything differently. I think I was really diligent about getting all the experiences I wanted to get out of college. So I got to study abroad, I got to do an internship in New York, I joined the dance team, and I kind of did everything that I wanted to in college. I think I really did try my best to be open to as many opportunities as possible and taking advantage of those opportunities when they came around. So I'm very happy to say that I do not think I have any regrets at the moment. What's my love language? My love language is acts of service and quality time. Those are my top 2. I actually didn't think I was an acts of service person until I got into a relationship, and that's when I realized that I really value acts of service. I honestly like all the love languages, but words of affirmation and physical touch are at the bottom too. Something I wish I could do more often. I wish I could go home more often. I'm gonna be honest, I go home very infrequently, like only during the holidays. And I live pretty close to my family home as well. Like if I really wanted to, I could just pop on over for a weekend. But unfortunately, I am always very busy, and so I don't get to go home that often. I went home last week for Mother's Day weekend, and it was so nice. I honestly really like being home. My parents make it a very safe and comforting environment. I also eat so good when I'm at home because both my parents are amazing cooks. If you guys want, I can film a what I eat in a week video when I'm back home. Yeah, I wish I could go home more often to see my family. I feel like I'm never anyone's first choice and it kills me. Any advice? Oh, I'm sorry you feel like that. Honestly, I really empathize with you because for a long time I felt like I was never anyone's first choice, and especially when I was like a young adolescent, so like in my early teens, if I were to give advice to myself back then who also felt like I was never anyone's first choice, it would be to make yourself your first choice. Although of course friends are so important, I think at the end of the day you can't ever like rely on someone to make you feel like you're valuable. I say this with so much love, but instead of spending so much time pitting yourself, spend that time working on yourself and working on your passions, working on different hobbies, and building a life for yourself. Like, you are worthy and valuable and good enough just as you are. I know hearing that and actually feeling that can be two very different things, but this is like the type of tough love advice that I would give to myself. What are things you do to help you make you feel confident or like an it girl? This is kind of a cute question. First of all, I don't think I have ever felt like an it girl. I think spending a lot of time thinking about what I like and what makes me happy has given me a lot of confidence, because I used to always feel like I needed to be like other people in order to be cool or look pretty or be perceived a certain way. But once I spent more time focusing on what I liked without any shame and dressing the way that I liked, whether or not that was like considered to be a trend, I think I started to feel more confident. I think it's very easy to get caught into a trap of feeling like I need to decorate my room this way so that it fits this aesthetic, or I need to dress this way or buy these clothes so I can fit this aesthetic because I think this looks cool. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I think it's more valuable to spend your time thinking about what you actually like and what you actually want. That's why I don't really like it when people ask me like what aesthetic I am, because I don't think I have an aesthetic. I just like the things that I like and wear the clothes that I like, which could be categorized under specific labels, but at the end of the day, it's just my style, and it's easier said than done, but finding your own style and your own voice is something that takes time. Kind of a cheesy thing to say, but the more often you tune in to your inner voice, the louder your inner voice gets. And so it might be kind of hard to differentiate in the beginning whether you like something because you actually like it or if it's a trend. But usually with time you can tell, because if you still like something even after a trend has died, that means you actually like it, not just because it was a trend, you know? Do you hope to continue dancing to K-pop / doing K-pop covers post-grad? I'm gonna be honest guys, I think I am slowly phasing out of my K-pop dance phase. I definitely don't keep up with K-pop as much as I used to. There are so many new groups nowadays that I literally just can't keep up. I'm still probably gonna keep doing dance covers with my team here and there because it's more of like a social thing for me. If I don't do a dance cover, a lot of the times I don't see my friends for months. But I also do want to get more into specific styles of dancing. When I go to Korea this summer, I plan on taking a bunch of different dance classes, which I'm really excited about. I also want to take more classes in specific styles like locking and house. So I'm definitely going to continue dancing because I love it, but K-pop dancing specifically has become more of like a social thing for me. Hi Deborah, how do you afford to go to so many concerts? Through this job. I've been going to a lot of K-pop concerts recently. So I went to the ENHYPEN concert, and a few days ago I went to see TXT. I'm also seeing ATEEZ later this summer. But yeah, I make money and then I spend that money doing things that I like going to concerts. It doesn't matter how much money I've spent on a K-pop concert ticket, as soon as a performance starts, it's always worth it. Favorite skincare and makeup at the moment? I actually have a few, so let me go bring them real quick. So I brought these two products to show you guys. This is Dr. Jart's Vitamin. This is a brightening vitamin C serum, and I've tried vitamin C serums in the past, but this is the only one that I've actually liked and continued using. This gifted, so I have no obligation to post this. I've been using it for about 2 weeks now, and I feel like it actually has helped with my hyperpigmentation, and I don't think I've seen results with a product this fast before. Vitamin C is a product that degenerates very quickly, and so the vitamin C itself actually came in like a little powdery ball that I had to mix in with the serum, but because it's so fresh, that's why it's been so effective for my skin, and I will probably actually repurchase this myself, but highly recommend this. And then for the makeup product, I literally bought this yesterday. It is the Laura Mercier pressed translucent powder. I have the loose powder as well, but I realized that I'm just a pressed powder girly through and through. I've used this 2 times. I wish I didn't like it this much because it's really expensive. It comes with a little powder puff, so it's super great for applying like on the go. And as someone that gets oily very easily, this powder is so good at making my skin matte without looking cakey. And whenever I apply it, my skin looks so smooth. Like I literally look like I have no pores when I put this on. So reluctantly, I say that this is one of my current favorite makeup products. Okay, this video is getting way too long, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up soon, but I'll answer just a few more questions because I'm having way too much fun with this. Now, if you made it to this point in the video, I think you deserve to know my relationship status. My annual update. I'm happy to say that I am still with my partner. We're still going strong. I'm still planning to keep my relationship mostly private because it's just more comfortable for us that way, and we've gotten like so used to it at this point that I don't really feel the need to share my relationship online. It won't be our first time doing long distance, but it will be the longest amount of time doing long distance. We're both very independent people, but our communication is very, very strong, and so I think we'll be okay. How to not have a crush? I'm a Cancer. Oh, that's actually, I don't know why that's so funny to me. Honestly, I have no advice for you. I'm sorry. I'm definitely a hopeless romantic at heart. Okay, so I think those are all the questions I plan on answering for today. Chatty videos have never like really done that well on my channel, but I love making them. I love talking to you guys, and I think it'll be fun to do more updates, especially when I am traveling and just taking you guys along with me. But yeah, make sure to check out Notion and my templates in the description box if you're interested. See you guys in the next one. Bye!